The aliveness, we're talking about aliveness here. What is taking birth here? During the break, I think I heard Mani saying, I'm feeling it's the 4th day of the lab. Yeah. So I was wondering, I said, is he going to go away tomorrow, the day after saying my lab is over? But no. So there's an immersion that's happened, a quick immersion that's taking place. What is this quick immersion? Is the emergence of movement that's happening in the field of aliveness. This aliveness, the first component of aliveness is freedom from social conditioning and the willingness to break out from social conditions. Yeah. So partly all labs attempt that. All labs subscribe to it and do it in their own ways. Lab workshops, like programs. The second part of this aliveness is an acceptance of oneself as one is. So can I accept myself as I am? This acceptance may be conditional, may be yes, conditional. So somebody says, I still have the need for revenge. He's really finding it difficult to accept himself as a revengeful person. Yeah, but the situation will not come to a resolution in his mind and map unless some action takes place there. Yeah. But he's accepting this and he's giving this space the value of admitting to this need without feeling guilt or shame. This freedom from guilt and shame is the first step towards acceptance. Yeah. So guilt and shame is one of the biggest barriers to this basic acceptance, and once this acceptance occurs, guilt and shame can be postponed or recognized, put aside, not made overpotent, then an acceptance begins. The third level of this aliveness is freedom, the desire for freedom. Alright? So again we are with 3 stages here, just like mind, body, spirit, triumvirate, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, Father, the Son and the Holy Ghost. Yeah, so there these triumvirates occurs here. Here is 3. In the first is freedom from social modes and establishing a space of intimacy and openness. Second is acceptance of oneself as one is, may be conditional, there may be shame and guilt, but the shame and guilt is stated, held in reserve for the time being, and that itself is a sign of acceptance. So what I talked about, vulnerability, yeah, rawness, yeah. So when you're saying I'm raw, you're actually saying I'm bringing my vulnerability here, and I trust this space to be able to hold, grace this vulnerability, not misuse it in any sense of the term. Yeah. So that's, and the third one is freedom. Alright. Now it's interesting. The first one is the interface we have with the sansar. Our interface with the sansar is through norms. So breaking out of that normative space is very important. Now how can I say something bad about my parents? There's a normative space. So breaking out of that. The second one is accepting oneself as oneself. If I don't do that, then my being is being ignored. When I accept my being, that's when the sense of freedom can take birth and flourish. Yeah? And the third one is freedom. It's very interesting that all spiritual traditions actually look for freedom. The ultimate value is freedom. It's freedom and deep sleep. According to our Upanishads, it's deep sleep, which is freedom of the highest kind. Yeah, mukti. So, we're talking of the engagement with the sansa. In that, breaking